Okay, so we're going to go over how to do the journal entries and daily books. So first thing you want to do is you go ahead and count your money. We're going to do this for yesterday, which would have been 11/4. So we go ahead and count the deposit like we normally do. And then we want to open up the back office. Okay, so when we have the back office open, first thing we want to do is we want to run a utility. What that does is it just kind of finishes out the day. So we want to pick the day we're doing. We're actually doing yesterday, the 4th. Hit OK. And then it's going to give you an actual, it's going to look like your point of sale screen with a couple different options. And this is where we're actually going to enter the deposit into digital dining. So we want to go register options, enter deposit, and then put in your number and just pick night because we do it for the whole, the whole day. So night accept, and then the only one we do is cash. So we're going to enter a drop amount for cash. And yesterday our drop was 357.30. Gonna hit enter. So now you can see cash there. Drop that. That's it. Exit the POS. Now we go back here and we do the register reports. And we're going to go to general reporting. And this is the Zhang DSR, which is daily sales report. This is kind of your all-in-one sheet where you can go to find anything you need. So we're going to go ahead and pick the date we want to run. Go ahead and run that. Okay, so when that's run, you'll see this flashing down here. And what that's doing is that's giving you a little preview of what it looks like. And you can zoom in on that and you can see here. This is calculating that our net cash yesterday was 369.55. And we only had 357.30 in there. So that you can see there's a cash over short here. Now what you can do here is you can print this page and you hit print and it'll actually go to the printer and just print up this one page for you. What we're going to do, I'll go ahead and do that, print. So with that, now you have the DSR. You can wrap it around all your other stuff, your receipts, your deposits, everything that you normally would have kept, all the credit card receipts. Wrap it around there and shove it in the drawer. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a QuickBooks export or import, and we're going to run it for yesterday. And now what this is doing is this is building the IIF file based on the data from the daily sales report. And this is going to be what you actually import into QuickBooks. It's really actually, this is in a IIF format. You can actually see here, this is the general journal. It's pulling, beverage sales wine by the glass. And then if you go down to page 2, everything else drops on the other side. So really, honestly, you don't have to worry about this too much. Let's go ahead and close that. Now, the important thing to note is that both of these reports actually go to a Dropbox, which is shared across the different computers in the office. The Zhang DSR is here. So if you go here and you look for the latest one, this is going to give you the latest one. Go all the way back to the first page because that's the only page it prints up. And you'll see here you actually have, there's your over short. And down here it actually puts your deposits together. So you have 3091.1 for your Amex or your Visa deposit. So that would be your Visa, your MasterCard, your Discover card all together. And we do that because when that stuff goes into the bank account, all those credit cards go in as one deposit. So it's just one line. When you're reconciling the bank account, what you'll see is this number. You won't see a number broken out for Visa versus MasterCard versus Discover, whereas Amex, since they're actually a separate company, they deposit on their own. So you'll see a number for this one. And then our cash, 357050. So if you want, you can rename that. It's up to you. You can always rerun it for whatever day you want, or you can rename it for yesterday. I'll call it 1.4.17. The other Dropbox that you're looking at is going to be your Zhang QuickBooks import. This one, it actually runs every night. So it drops it in here and it has the date. So this is actually the export from last night. It ran it at midnight and did it. So you don't really have to worry about running this every night. But if you need to, be conscious of this is the one we ran today, which is actually for 1/4. It always does it on the day you run the report, not the day of the report you're running. So not the date of business, but the day you run the report. Because this one was run at 11:45 just before midnight, that is the day of business. This was run for day of business 1.4, but it was run this afternoon, so it ends up like that. So we're jumping over here to which would be our enterprise server. And we're going to open up the file that we're working on. So this one is Zhang, so we're going now for Zhang, because they're run on two different computers, you have to do this little jump over for grind. Since everything's running on the back of the house computer, you don't have to switch computers. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open the profit and loss. And we're going to do it. It's already set up the 1st through the 5th. What I want to do is I want to put day by day. And this gives me the dates, a nice easy way to see the dates I'm working on. I collapse it. And then I can see here that you can see anything up here that has sales in it and income. That means journal entries have been done. Down on the bottom, because we put all our deposits into a clearing account, you can see down here it's on the clearing account. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and enter our deposits, just like we used to with future. So we're going to go clearing account, Visa, so we can see the whole thing, and 3091.1. Make sure we got it going into the right checking account, the right date, and then we're going to hit save and new. Move on to the next one. American Express. Cash. Okay, so now we go back and we look here and you can see that we have our deposits in the clearing account. Those are total deposits for the day. What we want to do now is we actually want to do the journal entry. Now I'm just going to show you this. Utilities, go to import, and now because I'm in multi-user, it's going to warn me that I have to switch to single user, or I have to be in under the admin or the accountant. Must switch to single user mode. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. I'm going to switch here to single user mode. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my reports here. Profit and loss. Go ahead and go by day. Collapse so I have a nice easy view. See if there's any income. No income, so I know I haven't done a journal entry. But there is entries in the clearing account, so I know that I've done my deposits. Okay, so we're going to import the IFF file here. So we're going to go to Utilities, IFF file, and this is the journal entry. Now I'm going to go ahead and use last night because they're going to be the same today and tomorrow. It doesn't really matter. You know, this is actually still the 4th, even though it says the 5th, like we talked about. So I'm just going to double click on that, hit OK. Now sometimes it won't show up here right away. You just got to hit refresh. In this case, it did, and you can see here that you have income now. That means journal entries are in, and your clearing account has been reduced to negative 1205, which is our cash over short. If we go and look at our DSR from last night, those should line up pretty darn close. $12.25. Now there is a little bit of discrepancy, which is like 20 cents here because of our due rounding. We haven't figured out how digital dining handles due rounding, which means that it rounded about 20 cents here. So we're going to have a little bit over short. That's going to be a little unusual. Just keep an eye on those pennies, and we'll catch them up later. But for now, 1205, 1225, you're good to go. If you expand this, you'll be able to see all the different liquor mods, NA beverage, beer, bottle wine versus this, appetizers, etc., which is all tied to the DSR on this stuff. Appetizers. And all the numbers are actually after discounts because we don't track discounts in QuickBooks. We track them on the point of sale. So what we want on QuickBooks is we want actual sales compared to actually what we spent. So these are the numbers that it's grabbing. $4.77 for appetizers and all the way down the list. Okay, that's it. Deposits, daily sales, etc., etc.